Hello, my dear student, Junior 4. I am Mrs. Iman Hafiz. Today, we will talk about Concept 1 in Theme 1 Adaptation and Survival. Lesson 1 Adaptation. Lesson 1 we will talk about Lesson 1 Adaptation. At first, let's remember living organisms. Living organisms like what? Like humans, animal, and plant. Living organisms, human, animal, and plant. What do living organisms need to survive, to live? All living organisms need to live or survive and reproduce and grow, need to food to eat. Number two, air to breathe like oxygen and carbon dioxide, water to drink and grow. Finally, need to shelter to live in it, like nests for birds above tree. Like nests for birds above tree, shelter like home. Shelter like home. But living organisms face some problem to survive, like all living organisms face some problem to survive and reproduce, like hot or cold temperature, high temperature or low temperature, and amount of food, less food, more food, amount of water, and shelter. All these problems face the humans to survive and reproduce. But the human can face these problems by different things. Number one, wearing heavy clothes and light clothes according to the weather. In rainy weather, wearing heavy clothes, or sunny weather, wearing light clothes, and drinking cold water, changing place from hot to cold, using umbrella. The human can face these problems by different things to survive, to only survive and reproduce. Wearing heavy clothes and light according to the weather, changing the place, using umbrella, drinking cold water or hot water. Is the human being the only living organism that can adapt to its environment like region or area or region or ecosystem has living and non-living organisms? Is the human being the only living organism that can adapt to its environment? Sure, no. Not only, also animal and plants they can must adapt with these changes to survive. Every living organism has different way to protect itself from extreme hot climate. How do how do animals protect themselves from the extreme heat of the sun? How how all animals protect themselves from hot. Oh, camel, how camel protect itself from the extreme heat of the sun in the desert? Camel lives in the hot climate in desert hot climate, but camel has thick hairy skin and stores fats in its hump to survive and produce hairy skin. The skin has hair and stores fat in its hump. الhump like a mountain above camel. Hump like a mountain above camel. Camel stores the fats in its hump to survive, to needs it. Okay? Another animal stored animal lizard. Stored animal lizard like this video. Watch video. Stored animal lizard looking for shaded area. This dark area, shaded area, Third Agama lizard search for or looking for shaded area to protect itself from the extreme heat of the sun. Repeat after me. Stored Agama lizard. Stored Agama lizard looking for shaded area to protect itself from high temperature, very hot climate, to survive and reproduce. To survive and reproduce. We say that every living organism has different way to protect itself in its environment. This different way known as adaptation. Repeat after me. Adaptation. Adaptation. Name of the lesson. Adaptation. What is the adaptation? Adaptation, it is a characteristic of living organisms that allow them to change and help them to survive and reproduce in the ecosystem, or some changes that help living organisms to survive and reproduce in the ecosystem. Traits or properties help all living like human, animal, and plants, allow them to survive and reproduce. What is the reproduce? Reproduce gives a new baby, like polar bear and baby, like cat and kitten, like mothers and son. In the ecosystem areas have living or non-living things interact with each other. Area has living, like human, animal, plant, and non-living, like soil, water, and air, interact with each other, like camel in desert, sea, and fish. This is the ecosystem. Again, adaptation, it is a characteristic of living organisms that allow them to change and help them to survive and reproduce in the ecosystem. Adaptation, characteristics or properties or traits of living organisms that allow them to change and help them to survive and reproduce. Polar bear live in polar climate. What is the climate? Climate weather the conditions for long period. Climate is considered one reason for adaptation. Climate is considered one reason for adaptation. Adaptation for what? Adaptation for polar bear, for camel in desert. Okay. Another animal. What about animal live in polar region? Watch video. Polar bear lives in the Arctic region. Polar region, very cold region, very cold area. But he can adapt in this area by two things. Polar bear has white fur. Fur cover the body of the polar bear. Polar bear has a white fur to hide in snow to catch its prey, and the thick fur to keep it warm. Polar bear in this video catch a prey. Prey, black animal is a prey, and the white animal, polar bear, is a predator. A predator animal eat another animal, and the black animal is eaten by another animal. Okay, polar bear has what? Thick fur and white fur. Thick fur to keep it warm, white fur help it to hide in snow. Or penguin, another animal live in polar region, in Antarctica. Antarctica region, very cold region, is the coldest area in the Earth planet. Okay, but penguin can adapt in this area by two things: has dense feathers, more feathers like feathers of hen, feathers of hen. يبقى penguin has dense feathers. Number two, penguin has thick layers of fat, has layers of fat to keep its warm, to keep its a warm, thick layers of fat to keep its body warm. The human can't stand on ice for 5 minutes, but penguin can stand and walk on ice for a long period of time. Also, penguin's feet have no feathers and no fat like your body, like its body. Okay? How penguin feet stay warm? Penguin feet stay warm by blood vessels. This is blood vessels. This is vessels inside the feet of penguin. Blood vessels, blood carry in these vessels. Okay? How penguins' feet stay warm? Number one, warm blood vessels. Warm blood vessels, red vessels. Warm blood vessels come down from body to feet, and cold blood vessels move up from feet to body. When warm blood vessels weave around cold blood vessels, heat transfer from hot to cold. So penguin feet stay warm. Penguin's feet stay warm.